Um, great. So, welcome everyone to today's, well, we call it Mastermind with Deneen Allen. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Deneen Allen. I'm the founder of Firecircle and lead mentor, as it were. And this is the first time, it's actually the second time, but it's the first formal time that we've opened up our live group calls, which we do every Wednesday to our wider audience of those of you who are receiving our newsletter and are part of our Fire Circle world in that way. We also have quite a few of our subscribing members on the call today, which is always lovely. But we wanted to open up these sessions to a wider audience so that we could get more connections going, more conversation. You could meet more of your colleagues and fellow business owners from across the country. For those of you who may not know a lot about Firecircle, I think most of you do, but we work all across Canada, and now we're starting to work internationally as well. We are, I call us the accidental education company. Because I started out like so many of you as an owner operator, and then I consulted for a long time all across Canada, large and small projects, everything from multi-million-dollar hot springs resorts to, as I like to say, small fishing resorts and food trucks, that you name it. And I wrote this program for you. I wrote Fire Circle originally for all of the small tour operators and medium-sized tourism operators and owners that I was working with that were missing bits of information, didn't necessarily know they were missing those pieces of information. And so that's how we ended up creating, or I ended up writing, the Fire Circle 5x5 method. So many of our members in Fire Circle have done that full program. And it's an online program. It's very comprehensive. Now you can do it in parts if you were to look online and see what's available. But one of the things that we realized is the mentorship piece, the ability to have these conversations with each other is those two things are super important to the health of our businesses and to our success and to filling these gaps in the knowledge. And so I just want to thank you for being here. And each Wednesday, we'll have a different topic. Some of the topics will be around the 5x5 method concepts. And so if you're in that program, it'll be helpful to you. But even if you're not in that program, you will learn new things, and you'll learn from the other people on the call what they're up to. Some of them will be Q&As like today, with a bit of a topic in my back pocket in case you want to talk about that topic. And we're also going to have guest speakers. So when I said that this was the second time, but the first formal time we were running these sessions open to all of you, we ran a really well-attended guest speaker session about a month ago on insurance. So we also want to assure you that we're going to try and change up the topics for you so that if there's something of interest to you, you can log in for a quick lunch and learn with us. Well, we're on Pacific time, so for some of you, it's like after school or after work time, or as the case may be. Apparently, by next year, we'll be 5 hours apart from Nova Scotia, which is kind of crazy. I'm on the West Coast in Vancouver. I'd like to just open it up to see if anyone feels like saying hello and introducing themselves. It's not a requirement, but it certainly just gets the conversation going and just to understand who's in the room with us today. So would anybody like to do that? Kim? Hello, Kim.
Hi there. My name is Kim Yeaman. I am in South River, Ontario with Brennan's Hill Camping and Cabins. I'm the owner and designer of that of my campground. So I have seven cabin rentals, four trailer rentals, and 33 campsites. Are The campground's on 100 acres. We're completely off grid, solar powered. So a lot of back to nature, a lot of simplicity with what we're doing. I am not quite a graduate, but of the 5x5 method. So I've been on a whole bunch of these calls. So, so any questions about that, I can certainly answer.
Thank you, Kim. That's wonderful. And we get so many sectors from within the tourism industry represented in Firecircle. It's so interesting. You're all up to some incredible things. I see some names I recognize. Barbara, it's so nice to have you here from Toda.
Hi, Deneen. Hi, everyone. My name is Barbara Bono, and I manage the visitor center. It's a regional center for the Thompson Okanagan region in BC. And so Deneen and Toda have worked together on some other projects, and I'm kind of here threefold to glean some information about. Of course, our visitor center has a retail element to it, and we're always looking at ways to increase our revenue. But also from the perspective of the destination management organization and being able to connect with anyone in the region and help where we can through our resources as well. So nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Barbara. That's wonderful. Yes, I'm excited about doing more work with you. And I think Jürgen, was it you who said you'd like to introduce yourself? That would be awesome. I saw someone put in the chat.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, there we go.
This is
Oh,
Jürgen Valakit from Baronsdorf First Nation.
thank you. And Jeremy, you were going to introduce yourself. Was it Jeremy who was saying you couldn't there, are you there, Jeremy?
Hi, everyone. My name's Jeremy, and I'm new to the Firecircle chat. Me and my partner just basically purchased the property in BC that's zoned commercial, and we're developing some cabins. And we're also full mountain guides and aspiring to basically start our own guiding operation out of the Robson Valley. So just interested in different ways that we can progress through developing the grounds and also developing our programs.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Jeremy. And Jürgen, do you have a business that you're working on?
No, I'm with the First Nation. We're based in Manitoba, and we're exploring tourism as an economic opportunity. So that's why I'm part of this chat.
Fantastic. Welcome. And we'll I think you'll find the conversation interesting. And Sharon, yes, thank you.
Hi there, my name is Sharon Lizette. I'm out in Almont, Ontario. I have been sort of following the fireside, and I got the book, and I've been working through that as well. I have have done the business plan and the research and last year, but we never found the property we were looking for to set up our glamping. So we're looking for a small scale glamping operation with an aspect that's also going to be intentional community. So I'm trying to fit in both of those.
And that's in Ontario. And which part of Ontario, Sharon, are you in?
So 40 minutes west of Ottawa. So Almont, Ontario, Mississippi Mills. But I'm currently looking either in Frontenac or Lanark Highlands because their bylaws are suitable for what we're trying to do.
Okay, I love it. Well, I wanted so Sharon, thank you for holding up the book. For those of you who just want a quick introduction to Fire Circle, thank you.
It's
I am
blurry,
not
I'm sorry.
I'm not paying Sharon to
No.
to show you the book. What so the full 5x5 method is an online digital program, and it's pretty comprehensive, and it takes a while to get through it. Sometimes people do it in a month, 3 months, but it's fairly comprehensive, and it has all the worksheets and the templates and the spreadsheets, etc. If you want just a quick look at the 5x5 method and actually a way to journal your way through your business idea or your business turnaround. The book is a fabulous way to do that. And I think the paperback is $24.99 on Amazon. So, Sharon, maybe at the end of the session, you could just tell us how that tool is working as a companion tool or just as a standalone tool. One of the things that I was going to talk about today, I want to take your questions. And then if we have time, I also wanted to talk about capital attraction. Does everybody know what I mean by capital? Put your hand. I mean money, right? I mean, there's three types of capital. There is funding capital, there is loan capital, and then there's investor capital, right? So three sources of capital when we're developing our businesses. I love the emojis. And so, strategies for how to attract capital. We can go there, but first, this is an open Q&A, so could I have some specific questions or general questions from you? And anything goes right now. And we can always go to that topic if we need to. But anyone come here with a burning question that they want to ask? Connor.
Yeah, I'll give a quick introduction. I'm coming at this from a little bit of a different angle. We actually have a software company, and we're building Canada's only true marketplace to support tourism businesses. So really connect everything across Canada, and in a way that you don't have to, pay for people's eyeballs. You just actually get visibility, true visibility. So my burning question is what I want to learn more. I've worked in tourism, I've worked for a resort, but tourism is so diverse. Everybody's business is so different. Everybody's challenges, and I'm in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I worked for Elkridge Resort. And so we have our own challenges too. I think where Saskatchewan is never seen as like, what, you have tourism? Yeah, we do. There's some stuff here. So, there's that. But what I want to know is what is your guys' burning issue? Like what if we were to position Roamly to help you guys better, what do you need in the digital sphere? I can only work in the digital realm, but that's what I want to know. So if anybody wants to connect after, I'm really just here to learn more and to figure out how we can just best help you guys keep doing what you're doing. So.
And Connor, can I just clarify that this is like a distribution platform? So it's
Yeah.
like you would be distributing or getting these products, these businesses to market. Is that sort of the
Exactly.
idea? Okay.
We're built on a map, so it's a true marketplace type of thing. We're just the intermediary sort of thing. You guys all build your free profiles. And when I say free, I really mean free. Like there's no like free for 5 days or free for what, it's free. And then we're building a booking system as well and stuff. We have it built, but I wouldn't use it yet. It's not ready for mass usage. But we'll get there. And we're building like an AI itinerary planner, and we're building corridor strategies. We're just building a lot of really cool stuff. So I get excited, so I will stop there. But yeah, so then basically you put a profile and you put your experiences on, you showcase your events, all that stuff, and you just show the world literally what you've got. And that's where we are. Yeah.
So, Kim, it seems like you have a question
For Connor. So when you said, what do we need?
Yeah.
So again, I am a small campground. And in Ontario, if people to think about going camping, they go provincial parks. That's it. I'm outside of that realm, and I'm very unique in that. And I'm not, I'm not like them. I'm not like an RV park. I'm not like all those things. So there's all these really small, unique businesses all over Canada. And I'm going to say to you, from my perspective, the biggest barrier for us is the marketing part. Right? Is getting known. The internet's a great place, but a huge place, and now a fake place. So, we're going to have a lot of the fake stuff is going to actually, I think, really take away from us because people aren't going to believe what's true, what's not true anymore. But just getting known outside of, like, again, I don't have the money the provincial parks have. I don't have that, a million visitors to Algonquin. We don't have that. And it's changing a mindset about using small businesses, intimate businesses, family run businesses versus the big business.
Yeah. Something else was put in front of me by Selma Burney. She has off-grid adventures. I don't know if any of you know about her. She's in New Brunswick. She has like an equine park. And I'm a horseback rider, and I've never used those words together, or equine park. And she fully off the grid. It's incredible. So it's off-grid adventure. So know that and singular. She mentioned though that something I didn't even put this together for campgrounds. How you guys get screwed over by these passes, the free passes that the government puts out, which then puts you in direct competition with the government.
I get asked all the
And
time, are you going to
don't
give
get me going.
are you going to give us the discount, the $25
Oh,
percent off, because we can get those
yeah,
at federal parks? And I'm like,
exactly.
nope.
It's
Right. So it's been
yeah,
a big issue. And I know our campground association has actually been having those conversations to say, dudes, come on. Like, you
yeah,
already have the monopoly. Let's be real here. Like, we're trying
Yeah.
to, all these private parks are trying to, make a small dent in the market and try to be, try to make a go of it. This country is built on small businesses, like, but
yes.
then they do things that are absolute contrary to that.
Yeah.
To
And
stop
never
it.
mind that they also can't afford to really be doing that, right? It's messing up the travel trade overseas as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And anyway, it's a big mess.
It's a big
No
issue.
question. But
Yeah.
so I'm hearing from everybody that that so marketing is always a challenge, and finding that way of getting distribution. Would anyone like to add a question to that or a comment to that challenge? What they're doing, perhaps, Barbara?
Yeah, just a reminder for everyone to reach out to their local destination management organizations. Each province has their tourism organizations that's their primary reason for being there, and they get government dollars to help you as their stakeholders, as well as the visitor centers in all of the different regions. We carry guidebooks and brochures and information on those smaller campsites and campgrounds and experiences in each of the regions. So definitely reach out to your local organization.
And how many of you are using, how many of you have heard of Destination Canada's Aurora AI? Jenny? Okay, a few of you, some internal. I can't see a show of hands from those of you who are off camera, but if you don't know about this tool, so it's Aurora AI, and you would go into the Destination Canada website to find this. And what they've done, this is how you're really honing in on your target market. So they've taken all of their data from within Destination Canada, which is much more robust than anything any of us have individually, and it would take us a long time to compile. They've gated all of that information so that it's a closed environment for researching, and you're able to do something that is called, I think, Jenny, tell me if I got this right, but I think it's called Tourism Twin. Your tourism twin. It's like you create the persona. Now, I'll back up a bit in a minute about how you have to understand your own business before you can actually do this really effectively. But essentially, you're able to create your twin within this Aurora AI system, and it will nail down, like super finely nail down your specific target audiences. So it could be more than one. It could be more than one persona. Some of you have probably played around with AI and creating a persona. We have several recorded workshops that our members can access, that where we've went in our marketing labs where we've created personas. But what I love about Aurora AI is that especially if you have a business that could attract overseas visitors, because of course Destination Canada is always focused on export, right? Export readiness, getting your business out into the world. But even if it's not a particularly international audience that you're after, it 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 can hone in on who you're after and how to reach them in ways that we've never been able to do before. And I think it's worth exploring. I even want to explore it for Firecircle in terms of maybe exploring, okay, if we want to build our membership, this is who we are, this is how we operate, this is what we offer. What should our messaging be? Where should we place that messaging? So really take a deep dive into that. It's a very easy tool to use. I'm speaking without actually having done the deep dive myself, but I've watched these demonstrations and they're kind of mind-blowing. So I'm going to back up from that a little bit because garbage in, garbage out with AI. So when you are inputting into AI, you need such incredible context for your own business. You need to know your market position. You need to really be able to articulate your brand story. You need to be able to describe your products and your offerings, and you really have to have a lockdown on your pricing and your costing and before you can really succeed out there and especially on your brand story, right? If so many of you have heard me talk about this before, but if you cannot articulate what you are trying to mean to the world, it's very hard for you to connect with your audience, right? Because we have a lot of members say to us, well, where do I find more customers? It's like, well, what are you telling the world about yourself? Because you're looking for people with shared values. You're looking for people who find what you're doing inspirational. And, we always talk about what's going on in the world around you, and there's so much insanity out there right now. What is your messaging? And it's hard for you to know what words to put out there into the world unless you really understand what you're trying to be to the world, right? So do that deep work and then try your messaging again and see what starts to happen. And then with all this AI assistance, use that to really fine tune your targeting on your finding your audience. Anyone want to talk to me about, I want to answer one question before I jump too far ahead, because this is also germane to this whole understanding of your story. And I think, Jeremy, you were asking me, I have a question on raising capital and how could I better present ourselves for doing that? What I'm saying about brand story is exactly what you have to get down to a fantastic understanding of yourself and what you're trying to tell the world about your business. When you make a pitch for capital, part of that pitch is, obviously that you've put together your numbers and you understand your business financially and what you're trying to how much money you need to raise because you've done your capital budgeting. You know what you're going to spend the money on, so you're able to explain to a lender or to a grant funder what you're going to do with the money and how it's going to make and how you're going to get the return. And you also understand how your business operates and you're able to describe that. And your team, you're able to talk about how great your team is and all of their talents. But the other piece is that you have to be able to tell them a compelling story. And, a lot of us have watched Dragon's Den and all those pitch competitions. That stuff works. When you can tell a compelling story about your business, you stand such a better chance of capturing the capital that you need, whether it's from an investor, whether it's from your Uncle Joe, or whether it's from a bank or a credit union. So these things are all connected, right? Having this really strong business proposition and being able to tell the story about it. It's not only to raise capital, it's for marketing, it's for all of those things. So Jeremy, does that answer a little bit? But you can ask me more technical questions about how to raise money as well. Does that help a bit?
Yeah, that helps. Thanks so much. I think what I was gearing my question more towards is basically we do have quite of a story that's special to our place. We've got our market pretty dialed into what like what who we are targeting, and the type of people that we know will come to our place is more, we basically now what we've done is we've developed the grounds to a certain level where we have 2 units of accommodation, we have a little spa, we have an outdoor kitchen, a little trail on our acreage, and we've got the design of the new building, and we've been on Airbnb for the last year and a half, and now we are super host status and we're fully booked. So the numbers are really good. People love it. I'm just wondering, because I don't have experience in raising capital, what would be potentially the first places where we should look into it, who could offer us potentially the best rate into development, especially that we're looking to raise capital for now building another commercial building that would have 3 units of accommodation. And there's a cat skiing operation also in our backyard, which the owner wants us to become the lodge for the cat skiing operation. So there's a lot of facets to it all, and
Yeah.
I'm just not
Is
sure on.
this all written down somewhere in a plan?
Yeah, so I do have a business plan. I
You
did
said you
study
had a business plan.
business at
Yeah.
university, so I have a
Yeah.
little bit of a background into,
Mhm.
you know, pitching. I just haven't done it for a business or for myself personally. So we do have,
Do you
business
have
plan written down.
do you have like 3 years of projections have you done your projections for what you think is possible with the new buildings? Like by adding these new buildings, we will be at this much revenue and
Yeah, so I
yeah.
built a 3, 5, and 10-year plan that does have projection as also how we want to grow as far as products and services we want to offer with those milestone, and also employees, how we will need to scale as far as like what our expenses will become as far as also employees and kind of overhead to run these kinds of services. So we do have quite an in-depth plan. I mean, I also would love to have someone review them because I haven't had anyone except myself working on those now. So if there's any ways that you would suggest how we should move forward now, knowing that we do have the engineer plans for the building, we do have a little bit of, numbers that came in as far as money that we're able to, you know, get in, and some 3, 5, and 10-year.
Yeah, three to 5 years is plenty. No one believes
Okay.
a 10-year projection. That's like,
Fair.
pie in the sky for any
Yeah.
lender or any financing. But you really do need to study the audience that you want to present to. So, and it could be a combination, right? So for those of you who are in the search for capital, it may not all come from one source, right? Obviously you have your own equity, your own skin in the game. You may go after some grant funding for pieces that are eligible for that. You may go after a loan for another piece, and you may go after a partner or like an equity partner or an investor for the other piece. So you really have to know who you're going after, and your pitches are different for each of those audiences, right? To my eternal dismay, it's not that, and I mean this with a lot of love, it's not that hard to pitch for grant funding, but it's going to get harder. So there's a lot of money that's been given out over the last, like, say, 10 years, 10 years. That's shrinking in terms of grants, right? That's shrinking. So you have to be even better at articulating your proposition to get that grant funding. So you have to understand that audience. What do they need to hear from you? What is important to them? If you're going after debt financing, they care about your credit rating. They care about the payback period. You have to be able to articulate how you're going to service the loan and how fast you're going to be able to pay it off. They have a whole different set of criteria, and it's like, the 5 C's of credit. Your team and your character are part of that, right? So they have a certain way of looking at it. And then an investor, this is the challenge in our industry, right? I presented on this last week at the BC Tourism Conference. In our industry, we're not that scalable. We are not widgets. We are not tech. We are competing for investor dollars. We're competing with widgets and with tech and the flavor of the month, whether it's an AI, whatever, right? The money going into these other sectors, natural resources, tech, bio, all the tech, and wellness, technology, all that stuff is so extraordinary, and we're having a hard time getting our share of the pie. We get about 36% of the amount of money that other sectors get, right? So we have to be even better at pitching, and for an investor to go after an investor, not debt financing, like not a loan. It has to be very patient money, and you have to explain to them how they're getting their money back, right? You have to explain how fast they're going to get their money back. Are they going to get some kind of, it's called a preferred rate? Are they going to get some sort of percentage of what they, of the cash waterfall, it's called? Are they going to get some sort of preferred rate each year until they get a chunk of their money paid back, and over what period of time? And this is the biggest challenge, and why so many of us are disappointed when we present to an investor. It's very hard. Most of the small businesses in Canada, and small and medium-sized businesses, are self-financed and then have debt financing or mortgages that are and operating loans that are, helping them kind of pull it all together. So, but it's not impossible. It's just really understanding your audience and making a really good case that includes statistics about that sector that you're in tourism, and how it's growing. And you could tie yours in, Jeremy, to the whole glamping, unique accommodation sector. And that's growing like gangbusters, but you still have to. So I don't know how much money you're trying to raise. I don't know if you want to say it out loud, and what percentage it is of the overall capital budget.
Yeah, so basically, for building the new building, we're looking at about $650,000 for the whole build. We could self-finance ourselves, but that would put basically our capital close to none, which we don't want to do that. So we're just looking at best options. Basically, we're happy to put in 200K, 250K, and then looking for the extra 400. If that's the case, we're just looking at a better option, basically, in the future. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and you don't want to overload yourself with debt, because then you have to you have to prove that you're going to be able to service it. Business Development Bank of Canada, their rates are higher, but just for everyone's information, their mandate is to lend on hospitality, particularly, and tourism. And sometimes you can do a shorter term loan with them, and then convert it to a loan at a lower interest, because their rates are higher. Maybe 2 or 3 years time, you convert to a regular loan at your own credit union or local bank. But it sounds to me like you are probably going to have to put in at least half of what that budget is, Jeremy, yourselves. And then try and finance the rest. It's very unlikely that you're going to get sorry, I don't mean to be a downer, but highly unlikely that you're going to get an investor to put in that money. They just won't get it out fast enough, right? And that's the brutal truth about investor, like equity out there. They want their money out in 5 years, maximum 3 to 5 years. They want a super high return. They want over 20% internal rate of return, or a 2 to 3 times rate of invested capital. They want to double or triple what they get to take back out. And that's hard for us in tourism. We just don't have that kind of scale and that kind of trajectory of revenue and growth to be able to do that. Um, I'm curious about a few other people on the call, and I would love to know what about this is relevant, or if you have a different question. Carrie, would you tell us where you're from and the business that that you might have a question about?
Yeah. So yeah, my name is Carrie Tatzloff. I am in Southwest Alberta, Waterton Lakes National Park, and I've found myself married into a tourism, multi-generational tourism family. And I am not a business background in any way or tourism in any way. But recent health things in my life have made me reconsider joining them and pursuing more of the tourism side of life and work. And yeah, I had seen Firecircle. I kind of just checked it out. I got this email from you about, 15 minutes before this started, and I thought, you know what? I'm sitting here having lunch. I'm going to check this out and see if this can help me, if this will fit. Again, I am an extreme newbie when it comes to tourism, but coming into a group of people that are not, and I'd like to be able to um, contribute, understand, get up to speed quick. Um, and also, I know that they have one. There is a property that the family has that's undeveloped that everybody treats with um, it's very sensitive. It's old. It's fallen apart. We got to do something with it. And so when you said capital, I'm kind of curious and trying to pick up the beginnings, the rudimentary part of what we might need to get some investment to develop that. And now I'm thinking your fire circle method is probably where I need to start to see what are we going to do with that building, first of all.
I'm going to let Jenny answer that question. Jenny, do you think Carrie should do the fire circle?
First, I want to say, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was having issues with this yesterday and it wouldn't work for me. So I'm a Fire Circle alumni and I'm here in Southern Manitoba. And my husband and I started our business back in 2011. And so back then we had a business plan and, of course, things change over time. And so we did do the Fire Circle program and we created our business plan at the end of 2024. And we're sticking to the plan and it's working, right? It's really amazing to have that focus and that vision and have it all on paper and to be able to put it into action. And so it's been a really amazing program for us and I would highly recommend it. Yeah.
I also did not pay Jenny, but I think it's just nice for you guys to sort of hear like how people have used it or, what part. You don't have to do it all at once. As I've said, like sometimes just like I did not want to write that book. I was like, why do we need a book? We have this online program. But even the members who had gone through the whole program said, can't you just write it down somewhere so we can carry it around and like be reminded of it or, scribble in the book or whatever. So that could be an interesting place for you to start, Carrie, it's like a short book and it highlights all the things that you'll want to be thinking through from envisioning it to, oh yeah, what would we have to do operationally? What would we do from a physical design standpoint? And even touches on the financial aspect a bit. And then you could decide, okay, well, I want to dig into, I'm just going to do step 5 of the 5x5, right? There's 5 steps in it. But anyway, I absolutely like that could be a really interesting place for you to craft the vision is in this book. And you can actually write in the book. So it's kind of a fun way of just carrying this thing around. Anyway, this is not an infomercial for the 5x5 or the book, but so many of you are new that we might as well sort of share like what's available to you if it interests you. But the main thing is to have these conversations too and to hear what you're all doing and how you're solving things. That's just so valuable to everybody. I learn something every time we do a call like this. So please come back and every week if you like until you feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to go this direction. Is there anyone else who has a question or wants to just chat about something in
Yeah,
particular?
is there
Patrick.
any hi. Is there any option to get like multiple copies of the book, or what do you think?
100%. You can either do that through our it depends if you want the hardcover. We have those available directly from Firecircle, or you can just go on Amazon.ca and if you look up Firecircle, the book will come up and you can order the hardcover is too expensive. Don't order the hardcover on Amazon. Just get the paperback. And yes, you can order multiple copies. Where are you coming to us from, Patrick?
So I'm in southern Alberta,
Okay.
like by Montana. We do. I'm not doing an ad, but yeah, we do like
Do an
cabin.
ad.
What?
Do an ad.
Okay, FlintRockRanch.ca. Yeah, yeah, we just do a couple cabins and 3 Airstreams, but I just have to say, like, I really appreciated this whole time. Like, I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And are you have you done any of the Firecircle program or you just this is
Yeah, I'm
new?
on step 2.
Ah,
But I was so when Gina left,
yes.
yeah. So
You lost your weekly motivator named Gina.
yeah.
Yeah. Gina, by the way, everyone, Gina is one of our facilitators who has just she's moving on to do something with her husband. Yes, Gina left. It's so sad.
Oh my
So Patrick, Jen, who was on the call earlier, is our facilitator who's sort of picking up from Gina.
no.
And you just reach out
Oh, of
through
course.
support or through info. So we have info at the Fire Circle or support at the Fire Circle, and we'll get you back on track. But yes, I mean I hope it's helping. And the book is maybe I don't know, maybe the book
1,000%.
is easier, right? It's just like a little
It's
faster and
well, exactly. And then I think like having it in hard copy too really helps.
it does. It's like we're all on our screens all day long. So I think this is just a nice change. So
No,
absolutely
good.
you can order them.
And
Mhm.
whoever's on the call, you guys can come and stay. Your first night is free, and your second night is also free.
Wow. What if we all come?
I mean,
You're in trouble.
you don't come at the same time.
Oh,
That's the
that's
next Fire
amazing.
Circle Summit, Deneen, is
Yeah,
Yes,
Patrick's.
that's
exactly.
not a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea. I would love to have, and we've done a few of them that we called them Fire Circle Live, and we've gone like had hosted them in coffee shops in different communities where some of our mentors are. You can request one, and we'll try and organize a
Not
live
about
Fire
it.
Circle
Yeah,
wherever you are. Right? We'll send someone down to you. Joseph is not far from you.
yeah, that's true.
In southern Alberta. So thank you, Patrick, for
Yeah, no worries.
yeah, and are you growing the business or is it like you're just kind of getting
Yeah,
your hands around?
we're just it's the same as all of us. We just need staff.
Yeah, no.
That's the thing. So I did get a trailer to have as like a staff
Quarters.
accommodations. So we'll see
Yeah,
what
that's a great idea. That's who else is having that challenge with staffing? Anyone else I mean, we're all,
yeah.
but anyone else on the call? Particularly, not particularly. Thank you. We had a couple of new people join us. Thank you. I think what I'll do for next week is ask that you guys right click on your names and put your business name beside it, because that's just great for us all to know where you're coming from and what your business is. And I think that's fun for everyone to see. Oh, I've got a few more people dropping in. Okay, this is so fun, everyone, because this is such a diverse and larger group than we normally have on this call. So super fun. Lots of new energy and questions. So for those of you who have just joined, we're running these masterminds as a um, I don't know, try and stump Deneen, ask me anything, but also just I was also talking about investment attraction, like how to raise money for your business. So you can ask me questions about that, or you can ask me general questions about anything that's on your mind. Anybody else have something specific they want to try and get an answer to? Sharon.
I was wondering if we can get access to the insurance webinar that you did. Is it on the website linked, or?
It's in the member resources. So it's there. And so all of the marketing labs that we've been running are there. That session is there. I have to check with Jen but I think it's uploaded. Let me know, Sharon, if you can't find it. And we will invite that company back because it was so good. And just for an overview for everybody, the insurance is such a frustration for all of us. The cost just keeps going up. I met Rochelle at the Western Ideas Forum, which is the outdoor hospitality conference that happened in November of last year, and that was in BC. And she did such a great presentation and talked about all the ways that you can put together your risk management plan. And she said that most of the issues for the businesses when they go to their insurer is they haven't actually put together a really comprehensive plan about how they're mitigating all of these potential risks for their business. And so you just get dinged with the highest price because that insurance company cannot assess the risk properly, and you haven't done the work of articulating for them how you're dealing with all these different situations, whether it's forest fire, whether it's personal health and safety on site, whether it's something to do with your waivers, that maybe you're doing some sort of outdoor recreational activities. Thank you. That's a great question, Sharon. And so when I'm talking about membership in Firecircle, and by the way, we're considering a price change to make it a little more accessible for everybody, because I believe right now it's $49, and we've done a couple of promotions. So keep your eyes on that space, because I think we're going to do something that just makes it. Some of you are on the legacy membership. That's about where we want to get everybody, is about that price. So stand by. And we really want to deliver value for all of you on that membership. The membership gives you access to the private calls that we do like this, the group calls, a quarterly mastermind, almost like a master class where we pick a topic and we really do a deep dive. It gives you access to the resource library, which is like hundreds of recordings on social media, on AI, on topics like insurance, business setup checklists, how you go about getting your GST numbers, all that sort of background stuff is in the resource library. And then you can come to all of these. Now we've opened up these calls to everybody. These calls, other than the private ones, are no charge. You would come to these anyway, but you're accessing everything through the Firecircle dashboard, and you just have a little more access to some other resources through the membership. Any other questions that I could answer that are, I'm just keeping an eye on the time. We've still got another 10 minutes. And who would like me to speak or answer a question on another topic, something that's on your mind? I'm wondering which Mark is on the call. Mark, is that you from Mythology Vineyards Winery, Mythology Winery? There's a Mark on the call. I know so many Marks in Firecircle. Is that you, Mark? I'm not sure if you're there. Anyone else have a question that they've been wanting to get some information on? No, I'm looking at Jenny.
Yeah, I just have something that has come up just recently. And as a small tourism operator, we do have trouble accessing funding to create like our Métis Arts and Culture Day. So it's about accessing funding like that. And so just today, I did a survey for the Tourism Industry Association of Canada because we joined as a member. And in their survey, that was one of their questions. They asked, if there was a policy that you could, add or suggest that, would be a quick win for Tayak. And so that was what I put in there. And I would assume that I can speak for a lot of SMEs out there that there's not a lot of funding for us to do these events or, develop tourism, for example. There isn't. It's
It's
getting
shrinking.
better, but it's still challenging.
It's shrinking, and so is there nothing in Manitoba right now that if you went to Heritage Canada or you went, have you thought about going outside of the tourism ecosystem and into the arts and culture ecosystem? You have, and you can't find funding there?
There's one grant that we can access here in Manitoba for that. Yeah. And it is through the Arts Avenue.
Yeah. So I want to address this a little bit because we've sort of trained our entire industry over the last 10 years to look for all of this training for free, all of the grants. We've trained the industry to look for free resources, whether they're monetary or whether they're learning. And for those of you who are as old as me, none of that was available to us when we were starting. So if you go back 20 years, there was like really no such thing. You had to bootstrap to pull together the money to do anything in this industry, or find, the like family and friends were the bank, like that's who we went to when we wanted to get things going. And very occasionally, someone has put a, oh yes, that's pocketed. Someone has put the funding. Thank you. I have some comments on that, but yes, that is one avenue. But it's really an aggregation of all of the funding opportunities. By the way, Destination Canada does have. You don't even need to go to pocketed. They take a percentage of your funding. You can go to Destination Canada to their portal, and they will tell you every possible funding that is available out there in the world. Right?
Yeah, I was just posting it just for informational. I don't pay them. I just look at them and then I Google what they've shown to.
Yeah.
But say they try and get you that because they want to do grant writing. That's their bread and butter. Is what they do. But Hello Darwin is another one too that I scan through. It's really
comprehensive.
Big. Comprehensive. Again, too, I don't pay them. I just scan and then I Google what they say. But
yeah, I like Connor's way of going about it. And also Destination Canada, you could compare to what they're also. So we stopped aggregating. We were like madly trying to keep up with all of the grants and everything that were available, and we were posting them for our members. We don't need to do that anymore because there are these other companies doing it. But it will continue to shrink. And so what I want to put out there to all of you is that it is our responsibility to figure out how to make our businesses viable. And the way to do that is to make sure that you're not missing any information about how to put your proposition out there in the world and go after that funding, but also how to drive your revenues, right? I mean, that's real business, right? When, yes, it's wonderful when we can get a little bit of grant funding to start a program off, or even a little bit of capital investment in our businesses. But what we need to do is build really robust, viable business propositions that are meeting a need in the market, right? And that you know that there's demand for what you're producing out there in the market, and there's enough of it to drive your revenues where you need your revenues to go to make you financially sound. And that sounds like, well, that like, and I'm not being flippant when I say that. I'm saying that's our job as entrepreneurs. We have to produce something that we can sell for a lot more than it costs us to produce. That is our job. So, and we need to do that job better and better as we go forward into the next 5 years, because those grants are going to start disappearing. And, you know, especially if we get a different government, goodbye to a lot of that funding, right? It's not sustainable. So we have to be sustainable. And how do we do that? We meet here, we talk about ideas, we do little micro changes to our business. We do more guerrilla marketing instead of like, you know, trying to do everything. We do like much more targeted, on the ground, you know, person to person. Just change it up a bit and go after, use the AI tools and use the tools that are out there to find your market and hone in on it. And I love how some of you have done this over the last 2 or 3 years with us. It's just been wonderful to watch, and we can see the success. Jenny, how many Firecircle members were on the stage 2 weeks ago in Edmonton?
Oh, wow. You know, I don't know the exact number, but I would say there was at least a handful.
Yeah, so these are Firecircle members who were all up for awards or speaking at the Indigenous Tourism Awards in Edmonton. So be that person who's going to excel at what you're trying to do. And the world is a big and competitive place. And I will harp on this forever about us being more competitive. Like, really find your groove, find that unique thing that you're going to do and double down and do it like nobody else's business, and see what happens. And you'll be amazed. So I think there was one more question from Kim.
I think one of the big things when you talk about, you know, funding. So I'm in RTO 12 in Ontario, which is Parry Sound, Algonquin. It's a big area, right? Northern. And there is funding through your individual tourism organizations. Now, each one decides what funding they're going to, like, you know, what they're going to apply for to get from the government. So last year I was able to get, and it's a 50% share. And a lot of the times you're going to find this. So I got marketing money, I got photography money, I got wayfinding signs. So how to get to me, that kind of stuff, as well as they paid for a trade show. So that was 50%. I had to pay 50% of that, which was great. And working with them. The other thing that they've done now is they're starting they have a travel agent. So now they've become a travel agent. So I'm in the middle now of building a travel package with them. Again, I apply for funding to do that, right? So that the funding is going towards that. So, you know, they're looking for operators to step up. And this is actually one of the biggest challenges, is getting operators to actually step up and become part of these things. I partner with every business I possibly can in my community. I partner with events place. I partner with everyone, right? Everyone I possibly can. When you say be that person, I had somebody on the line the other day and they're like, oh my God, Kim, every time there's a meeting or every time there's something, or you're on every single call, you're the first person to say, guys, we need to do this all together. So you're not, don't do it alone, right? Like, and if you can come up with some really unique kind of stays. So mine's going to be, an off-grid cabin with an ATV tour. We have a distillery in town that's going to do a tasting with a wine and cheese and stuff. So we're putting together this whole package with our tourism, and they're going to sell that. They are going to sell that Ontario wide.
Yeah.
Right. So
The
I'm
partnerships.
coming around for the marketing. I'm using their marketing, right? So that people
Exactly. Leverage.
get shown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
those partnerships are so important, and you're doing that so well, Kim. So that's something for all of you to think about is what can I do and what can I not do, and how do I partner for that, right? To find other vendors, other suppliers to put this incredible offering together for our guests. I think what we could talk about next week. Next week, Carrie is hosting actually, and it's on the 5x5. So that would be very interesting if you're in the program, and even if you're not in the program, we'll be talking about a specific topic within the 5x5. But maybe for a next sort of general conversation, we would talk about export readiness and how even everything we've been talking about today is part of becoming not just market ready. Like your destination management organizations, they just want you to become market ready, like hands down. And then like the next step is export readiness, right? And being able to access those overseas markets through the travel trade, which is through almost like wholesaling your business to these travel trade partners. And a lot of you are ready for that. Some of you are not, but a lot of you are. And it's just opening up this international audience for you. Please send us feedback. You can email us at info@thefirecircle.ca. Send us feedback. If you're not already a member of Firecircle, you could just do that. I'd love to know that these sessions are helping. Give me the thumbs up, anybody who is on screen. And also we're very open to topics. So I want you to come back and ask the questions. These conversations can go anywhere. I'm just thrilled that so many of you were able to join. I really value your participation. We have Lori joining, but I'm not sure she realizes that we're leaving, but we'll say hello, Lori. And please come back. And thank you everyone for being here.
Thumbs up. Huge thumbs up.
Thank you, Patrick. Thanks, everyone. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Absolutely, Connor, we can connect. Anyone can connect. I'll put my email in the next session so you know that you can reach out to me anytime. Thanks, Connor. Deneen at thefirecircle.ca for anyone who needs it. Thanks, Sharon. Thank you. Adele and Jeremy. Thank you, Nacho. Thanks, Patrick. Okay, I'm going to close it off. Bye, everyone.